Hey, beautiful guys, just a real short video to help you be able to write the essay. So I'm going to go ahead and share screen and go through 3 slides very quickly. Don't worry, gonna be quick. Just trying to here to help and make sure we pitch through what we're doing. So obviously, what's this essay? It's an exploration. So don't forget that it's you and you work in a question or a creative itch. You gotta scratch it. So help me feel the itch, help me recognize it that you are invested. Find the angle, get the two stakeholders. Now, some of us are into, oh my God, what does he mean by stakeholders? Don't get it. Um, it really can mean just the author. So if you got two really good authors that are invested in the topic, that are close to it, just give me the who, what, where, when, why of each person and how, if you will, certain things are affecting the way that they're looking at the topic. A little bit like the critical summaries, unit 2, for sure. But let's take Space Mountain. I got somebody writing Space Mountain, Disney. They're redoing the ride because there's cannibalism and the kids are seeing this and it's pretty horrific. And it might have been funny in the 50s, 60s, but we're like, I don't know if that works. So now we have a lot of different players all of a sudden. We have the parents, we have the kids, we have the space ride, Disney itself, and society, right? What's politically correct or what is just dumb, right? So maybe some of that could be played through. Be careful about the big stakeholders like society or media because they're spongy. I don't know what they are. Do you know what they are? Who are we talking about? Until we get specific, we might have a problem. So if you have more questions, let me know. All right, moving along. Answer so what more than once. Yeah, you guys say, well, I haven't seen this before. No, it's kind of endemic. We've been chatting all the way through. I've had this up before, but nonetheless, if you haven't seen it before, now you do. So what means implications? Why and how should I care? And if I don't feel significance, if you don't ring the bell and say, hey, this is important, this is significant, you ring the bell a couple times in the essay. Number 3, ideas should stem from readings. Okay, I'm like this. I said most, it's probably going to be a minority at this point because it's kind of ironic. A lot of y'all going off the farm, off the ranch. I'm good, but here's the deal. I can't go into AI land, right? Part of the danger is we end up saying, oh, let's just have AI write it. We'll see how it works. I had a guy get an F for that because he started making up lyrics in a poem that didn't exist in one of our poems from Unit 2 on our very sadly. Just so we're clear, really good guy and all that. I don't want to like put anybody, roll anybody under the bus, but sometimes we think in a pinch it will work and it doesn't, and it makes up crap, and that's bad. And then also, I'm going to run this stuff through AI, so don't go there, right? Use AI as a tool to help you refine, not create, except to brainstorm. Okay, interview could be a chat. Listen, you got 2 days to go. You got your parents, you got your friends, you might have somebody, an aunt, uncle, or experts. Geez, what's the big problem? Have a chat about your topic. Good enough, record it or just give me the essence of it. Let's be really careful not to overwork this or underwork it. How about a good writing consultant? They see 1,000 of these essays at SUESF. They're like, of course we can chat about this. Have a chat. It's a way to work the idea around. Now, obviously, the best is to get an expert and be able to talk with them. But if you can't, okay. Shoot for the moon, by the way. I've had somebody actually try to get hold of Paul McCartney on the Beatles. I'm like, hey, go for the moonshot. What's there to lose? Try to DM, especially work Instagram though, if you want to go that route or TikTok. Well, TikTok, I don't think you can get them in that way. But anyway, you know what I'm saying. DM is a good way. 2 to 5 sources. 2 will do. Just work close. Got to work close with them. That's the key. And you got to do a little bit of this. Show me how the sources are working off each other. Seesaw a little bit. Okay. 1,200 to 1,500 words. I need 1,200 words on point. I can only have one paragraph of bullets. I'll let you cheat a little bit, but that's it. Okay. It has to be in sequence by first class Monday, Tuesday. All right, cool. Meaning if you have Tuesday class, it's Tuesday. Okay. Possible essay templates rolling through quick. Find the best claim and work from there. This is the easiest way to write. Easiest. We did this as a workshop point. If you weren't there that last day, I get it, but nonetheless, really helpful. Find the claim in a source, work from there. Just literally do the they say, I say. Hello, the whole book's written on it. It's really good. It works, right? And also the templates out of they say, I say, but just one good claim or quote. And you start writing lightning off it. You're saying, I can't do an essay. You can start there and then it jumps you to an idea. And then you look around for your other source or you go to the same source and kind of work back off it. Pretty soon you have an essay. It's grown organically. It's not trying hard for the first paragraph with a funnel and an essay, a thesis, and then 4 points and 3 different sources. What happens is we go too generic, then we just start talking about the topic and we're doing a Wikipedia on mental health, a Wikipedia on how, things are politically incorrect or how sodas shouldn't be around, that are contaminating our, it's a report, it's generic, it's Wikipedia, there's not an argument, you're just jumping in one source after another per paragraph. That's not this essay. It's getting in tight with one source working off of their claim and then kind of morphing. Now, if you don't want to write your whole essay this way, I get it, but it at least is going to give you a building block that probably will be in the center of your essay, if not the front. Okay, storify. If you start with a story and with a one sentence answer to the question, what's the point? You're going to have amazing essay because that'll get you into the topic in a sense. Yeah, that sets this idea. You can write this as your last thing in your essay, like you know exactly what you've written through because you went through all your sources, or maybe you did the first bullet here, you worked off a cool claim and then you riffed. But then you're like, hey, I could throw a cool story up in front of that. Matter of fact, I did have an experience like this that would tie in. You can mix and match some of these templates or these ideas. Maybe. Third problem, excuse me, define. Yeah, the best essays, the easiest essays to write are accurate definitions, norms versus wait, I'm not so sure. It's what's called the stipulative definition. There's a dictionary definition, but then you're saying, hey, in this circumstance, I'm wondering if it leans a little this way. Because in the real world, things are a little bit different and more spongy. So should we have a soda tax or not? Well, that gets into the ethics and the norms of whether we should have freedom to choose and versus, hey, this is causing mayhem in society and we're paying on the back end through, you know, medical costs and health costs. So you're really getting into a construct there of health relative to freedom of choice, maybe having that tension and looking the definition of, choice and health, and then kind of working those norms the way you need to. So differentiate, compare and contrast definitions, especially as sources give them room. Sources sometimes supply you key terms, and you go look for that key term in the other source, and you just kind of do this. You compare, you ping off of them and play referee. Awesome way to build an essay. By the way, get your definitions up front just to want to seal that point to stakeholders, the who, what, where, and why, just like the critical summaries. You got to have a little bit of lay of the land before you go into anything. 90% of the time, good idea. Problem solutions, we talked a lot about this in class, not going to hit it too much, but often you work off of one paragraph where you simply say, hey, many people think, here's the gap with that way of thinking. By the way, if we go down that road, here's the potential loss of money, time, labor, status, health, knowledge. Nobody wants to lose any of those things. So I want to give you a solution in this paper, or I'm going to give you 3 solutions. I'm going to rank which one's most important or which sequence we should do them in. Start with one question that you really are honestly curious about, or the sources popped up for you, and let the sources and you kind of work through the answer. That simple. And then you ran out of steam, kind of answered that, but it led to a second question, or you're smart enough to see there's still something else to be pursued. Opt the second question, answer the second question, you got an essay. Usually you can only get through 2, believe it or not, if you do that idea. All right, tips, we go out with this. Number 1, yeah, start with that quote, go from there. Define key terms and stakeholders early. Let yourself write that metacognitive paragraph. This is the stuff of what we've got from They Say, I Say, which is, hey, how do I mix and match with what I'm thinking? On the one hand, on the other hand, this makes me think of, I had an experience like this. So far in this essay, I've been arguing. This makes me wonder. Use the great starting prompts from chapter 15. Let's look at those in a moment. And then let's plant a naysayer. Maybe even early, you can even try to start your essay. It's called a Rogerian argument, where you kind of say, here's the argument. Here's how and why and when it makes sense to go with them, and then flip radically to your thesis then. But overall, it makes more sense to go with me. And you're only about a page and a half in at this point, and then you flip to, hey, greater circumstances point toward my view. And I'm going to come up against this naysayer. Differentiate. You don't have to like smack them down. You just have to kind of work it through. All right. So all these were great prompts from chapter 15. Should X happen? Was it as blank argues or as blank contends? Take your 2 sources and seesaw them and set it up. You could do this even at the beginning and or in the middle of your essay. What should we do about X? Should we do as blank urges or should we do as blank argues? That could set up your closing argument. You can see all of these are good. I think a lot of us loved, at least from feedback across all classes, is it true as some assert that blank? That's kind of flipping the assumption and or just poking at a source or an idea. All right, you can see personal ones down at the bottom. throughout my many years, I've taken interest in blank. I, like most people, have assumed blank. When I researched the topic, though, on this essay, I was surprised to discover blank. Get us that bet you didn't know thing, and that's a great one. All right, guys, have a great one. Have a great rest of your break. Looking forward to reading, seeing what you got. See if I can get the heck out of stop share, man. See if I can do this. All tricky to get out of these things. Here we go. All right. Take care, guys. And if always DM, Slack, email. Yeah, looking forward to seeing you guys after break. Take care.